Hey, everybody, got that big game today. I'm just kidding. We got that big versus FaZe game today, and we're all going to keep our attention on it because we're well within the playoffs here at the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. And today is a huge day, not to have any sort of punts. It's a consolidation final between Big and FaZe. Welcome back, everybody. My name's Trace, alongside of me, Matthew and Jacob, and we are ready to talk a little bit more about the game on hand rather than the tournament as a whole. So obviously, when you look at this one right off the top, surface level, before we go into any analysis, before someone is convinced here by the other one, who are we looking at as the victor straight up?
I mean, it'd be a mistake not to say FaZe and other favorites considering where they've been at the last year or two. You know, Big Clan is a lineup that the past year they've been trying to constantly fight their way into the top scene. They've been learning, you know, top 15, top 20. A few times they show glimpses of what they can do at a high level, but this is the first time they have gone so far in such a big tournament like DreamHack Masters is. So FaZe Clan, they have the experience, they have the know-how, they have been the best team in the world a few years ago. Big Clan, they're still new kids to the block, but it is a relatively even matchup, I will say.
Just for context here, the last time these two teams met, not so long ago, Big absolutely destroyed FaZe, 16-9, 16-5. And as we talk about Big, we say the preparation is almost always in their camp. They know how to prepare the map precisely. How do you prepare for an opponent you've already destroyed? What do you change your gameplay when you've already overcome them? And that might sound silly, it might sound like a paradox, but I think it might be Big's downfall here. How do you prepare when you've already won the battle?
I think that you're onto something right there. It's because it's like, okay, you found success before with what you were doing, but you know that the other team is going to go back to the drawing board and they're going to make things weird for you. And obviously that's just how the game of Counter-Strike works. Let's just start talking about Big right off the top here and what they've been able to accomplish. Berlin International Gaming, I think, is what we're going to go with for the time being, but Big for short. Jacob, talk to me about what we're seeing of the boys from Berlin.
We've seen some good stuff lately. We've seen a team that has been growing a lot. I think it's a team that has been... They've been trying to reinvent themselves. They've been going with Tapson now as the in-game leader. I think he's been doing a good job as of lately. They brought in Sirsen, they brought in Kido, two players from the German team. They also had Smooya at one point to the lineup. So it's a team that's been experimenting a lot. You know, now I think they finally have found a constellation of players that is actually doing good. Shantaris is the one outlier here. That's the reason why they still communicate in English. He's not well spoken enough in German in order to communicate in German yet, but he's a great guy and he fits well into this lineup. I think for Big to get to the big stage, sort of, we need to see Shantaris being enabled more. We need to see Tapson, you know, being able to keep fracking, I guess, as an in-game leader, and we need to see Sirsen elevate his play just a little bit more. I think the role players in form of Tizian and Kido is doing a good job. I think Shantaris has the potential to be one of the best players out there. We've seen how good he is when he's playing FPL. Potentially one of the best spray players in the entire world. That maybe is something we underrate a little bit, but there's a lot of skill within the Big lineup. We just need to see them find a way to facilitate that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and Maniac, I'm looking at this project, I'm thinking, yeah, Xantares, this guy's, he's pretty sick. Don't tell anybody, though. He's really nuts at the game.
He really is, and I think it was Smooya, I always want to give him praise for that, who mentioned in a tweet a few weeks ago that Xantares might be one of the players that benefit from this SG Krieg nerf, because he used to be a rifle beast. We knew he used to be one of the best M4A4 players out there, but for a moment, it didn't matter anymore, because you just had players just white peeking you and two-tapping you with the Krieg, and that was it. You were done, yep. Donzo. Finito, adios. So now that people have to actually play the rifles again, I feel like Xantares is finding his form. But obviously it would be too easy to just pivot everything around the SG. I think he fits in the system now. I also think that Big is a very emotional team and they are in a good period. And it is very important to mention that. Everyone feels great. You hear Tapson, you read his tweets, like, I'm having the best time of my life, it's the best team I've ever had, we're all a band of bros and all that. But actually it counts. I think it does play into their level and they're at the top of the mountain at the moment.
Well, they might be a band of bros, but they're definitely not jumping into the Bois Jacques anytime soon. Nobody is, because the weather conditions were not Palpatine for it. What we are going to do is hear them talk about the last matchup that they had. They faced what was G2. G2 obviously winning that, moves on into the grand finals, which leaves Big with the situation on hand.
So the game against G2 didn't go as quite as we played it. We were pretty prepared for all the maps we played, because also Gob helped us a lot and we started watching demos in the night. On Nuke specifically, we didn't hit our shots, we didn't get into the game. We're a little bit like maybe a little bit too confident in playing, because we had a good couple of days where we just hit our shots and played really good individually, and that just didn't work out. And we were playing a little bit out of our comfort zone and they just took it.
kill. Oh, and it's all three from Nexa.
In this pistol round, like I was coming back from A, I saw Xantares doing 3 one-shots easily. And I was like, yeah, just keep going, boys. You're still 3 on the side. I'm coming right behind you. I was even flashing over kitchen, so we get a little bit more time.
The site's gonna be open, Xantares. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god. 3 headshots for Xantares. This hold is a one-man army. He will go down. Can Nexa best him? Oh, he's got a 3-piece back to his own name. Because this bulldozer of a man just tore through that B defense of 4 headshots.
I mean, if Xantares can do 3 kills there, then Nexa can also do 5. That can always happen in the pistol round.
Formation on the right corner of this map.
Ooh, there it is. Pearson hits. Oh, second. Nice. Even with the first pick, maybe he gets another. They're going to go right into it. Oh, collateral. For
today, we prepared really good. We have like a really good stuff behind us, like the coach, Tapson, and Gopi are like watching a lot of demos.
Difference maker. He has more kills in this round alone than the rest of the map. It's fantastic.
We are very hungry to win.
Of course, Big Clan are hungry to win when they get 2-1 by G2. They're so close to putting themselves in that grand final with a map advantage. But that's not the case. In fact, FaZe Clan didn't necessarily have a shot at the grand final either, but they do now, and they do continue to run along in this bracket. What do you guys think about what we find ourselves in here with FaZe Clan and Bemis and all of the hype around the lineup itself?
Good question. I don't really know where to put them yet. I don't really know where Bemes fits into the lineup. I think the sample size of games we've had with him on the lineup is too small to really make any conclusions. I think we can say, though, that FaZe Clan is still looking good. With Olafmeister, we know that he was having motivational issues and he ended up leaving the lineup. But even with him on the lineup the past month or so, they were doing better and better. They're doing good in Road to Rio. They're doing good in basically everything they played out. So it's a team that is getting better. I feel it's a team that is slowly but surely finding their identity. And if they can implement Bemes to this lineup rather quickly, I think FaZe Clan is a team to be reckoned with, especially when you look around to other teams right now. Astralis, a wounded animal. Na'Vi not playing well. T2 showing inconsistency. There's a space for FaZe Clan where they can be one of the best teams in the world if they grab it right here, right now.
So, Maniac, I'm looking at yesterday, and I'm thinking for FaZe Clan, they made it kind of look easy, and there wasn't really a point, I suppose, outside of maybe the first half of Mirage and the first map of the series against Na'Vi, that FaZe weren't in control, and even that was the closest half. 8-7 still goes to FaZe, but yesterday they looked convincing.
I agree, and there's no other way to put it. The problem is, was that an outlier performance? Was that an extreme?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to wait? Because if we just take Bimas, for example, I'm quite new to this player. I'm discovering him day by day, game after game, and in this event already, I've had one absolutely atrocious performance, and I've had a beast performance over a very short span. So it's quite hard for me to know what exactly is it that we're supposed to wait from this guy. I'm still going in, step by step. But I think there's two players that we need to mention that look quite stable right now. It's Nico and coldzera. Nico is fragging the hell out of this, server. He's doing quite well. I think coldzera is a bit quiet in terms of number. His impact is grandiose. It's really good. I see the way he played clutches. I'm sure he talks a lot. He helps a lot. So he's being a very good surgeon to Nico at the moment. And I think they have a good thing going on, these two together. And they provide some sort of security in the FaZe type.
I think you're right. I think we have the core, and I think also that Bemis is one lit Lithuanian. Let's hear what FaZe Clan have to say.
The game against Na'Vi for us is always hard. I think the past 5 games, we kind of struggle a little bit to play against them. And I think the last time we played against them was kind of very close, the result. So we finally became on top this time. So it was really important this match for to have more confidence for the team, especially Bimas. I think he's still kind of a little bit pressured. So we are trying to figure it out with him, how to make him more relaxed. And today he presents a good game. Every time when we play against Na'Vi, they don't have a good economy. They're gonna try to explode on sites. So we make a call to retake B and hit a good flash for him, and he got the first kill. And after everyone just lining up, and he shined.
Oh, the flash is good. That's so nice for FaZe. Oh, but Bemis, no! Leave him alone! He's turning them up! The pistol's out, and Bemis...
On Dust against them, it's always hard because I think it was a good map pick for them, because they beat us last 5 times when we play against them. So they love to play Dust 2 against us. So we prepared really well against them. We knew RCT's side would become more stronger this time because in the last Dust 2 was kind of weaker. And on this side, Nico make good calls, especially on B side when we rush 2 times.
For BMAS here, they've got to commit, but they've got nothing behind it. This should be Navi's round to run through. Look at Simple on the flank, he's got to kill. BMAS and Broken finding double openers, but the bomb's been dropped. It's pandemonium. Simple trying to restore this map, trying to restore this series, but he's going to get taken down, leaving Electronic and B.
Now trying to find these players, and Brokey's going to hold the line.
Nick is always a hard team to play against. When they are in their day, it's always hard to play against them. And that's 2-0 when they got it on us. Was kind of hard a little bit because we were having a bad day. Everyone was really off. Nick was kind of sick a little bit as well. He had the fever. So the cause was not good. Everyone was not in a good feeling, not in a good mood to play. So we played kind of bad a little bit. And we're going to try to figure it out for the next match. I think it's going to be good to play against them. And of course, we're going to get the revenge.
Of course, coldzera is excited, and I would be too, especially when you have some younger guns coming into the lineup, stealing some of the spotlight, but who's ever truly going to steal the spotlight away from the remaining FaZe Clan players that are not coldzera, right?
Yeah, good question. I don't think anyone can steal away the spotlight from the guys like Nico and coldzera. They'll forever be legends of the game, and they've done things in the game that I think BMS and Bogey can only dream of. Hopefully for FaZe Clan, it can be part of their future. It can be part of their future legacy. I think Broken and BMS has been brought into this lineup in the hope that they can morph them into future superstars. For now, there's no doubt that even though the youngsters yesterday was the main factor between FaZe playing well, coldzera, Nico, they are the stars of this lineup. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think you are definitely onto something. We're onto the vetoes. That's where I want to start our conversation with you, Maniac. I want to pretend that I don't know what they are.
Okay.
And I want you to help me out with this.
Okay, so let me put it this way. Last time these two teams played, Big remove Train, FaZe remove Vertigo. I'm not sure that this is going to change, but the picks might be different. For instance, I would like to see FaZe go into Mirage. I think Big will allow them to do so. I think FaZe have looked very strong on Mirage, and I'd be glad to see FaZe kind of leave Inferno maybe for a second ballot veto, or as a third map is possible. But please go for that Mirage pick. They looked so great recently.
I agree. That'll be nice. And as for Big Clan, I mean, Inferno seems like the obvious pick, doesn't it? I think they were playing very well last time around. They went for Nuke this time around again. It makes sense. They also manhandled FaZe Clan on Nuke. But that said, I think FaZe Clan have played a lot of Nuke with this new lineup, and they feel fairly comfortable with BMS on it. So I would have gone for Inferno if I were Big Clan, to be completely honest. Dust 2 being the decider. Again, we had the same conversation yesterday. You allow FaZe Clan to go on Dust 2 as the decider map. That's not a comfortable position to be in. That being said, though, we have to be completely honest. The Big Clan, they are monsters on Dust 2 right now. They absolutely manhandled was in Mouse Sports in the group stage 16-2. They had some good results on Dust 2, so it's not a bad map by no means. Both of them, as you can see right here, have 100% win rate in this tournament on the map, so they're comfortable on it. The only thing I want to mention out here is I would have liked Big Clan to go for Inferno. I think that's the most safe pick. I think FaZe Clan were looking super, super terrible on Inferno. Whereas for Nuke, yes, they played first time around. Yes, Big Clan won it, but FaZe Clan, they played Nuke in this tournament so far, and they've actually been doing pretty well. So this didn't help me believe more in Big Clan. Let's put it that way.
Big Clan, they actually ban out overpasses their last ban. So if you look at that, and it's obviously there on the screen, we have our maps. We have everything that we need to get this series started. But I want to talk a little bit just for a second on that Dust 2 notion. Yeah, we're starting on Nuke, but I just want to say Rain on CT side Dust 2 is pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, you don't really want to play around that A side, right? I mean, I have nightmares of just seeing his head pop off A ramp and and that's 3 opponents dead. Exactly, yeah, that's 3 times. That's 3 dead, actually, because he shot 6 bullets probably. Anyway, back on the soundtrack. He does an incredible job on the A side, but there is a lot of power on FaZe Clan on this too, and that game versus Navi was very impressive. Very hard for me to find a weakness. I think they are very proactive. You see Nico with the AWP catwalk going in for peaks. You see coldzera retaking information down middle on flashes. So if you're big, you better know what you're doing.
Yeah, and if you are one of those folks sitting out there in the arena, and I mean the digital arena, the digital battleground known as Twitch chat, now is your chance. Now is the opportunity. Now I'm giving you the green light to spam what you want to spam. But when I say that, I mean you have to vote for one of these teams. You have to use a hashtag. It's got to be big or it's got to be FaZe. Now I want to see the Keck W's, Omega Lulls, Kappas, anything therein. None of that. Just pure votes. We're going to tally those up. We're going to come back after a break, and we're going to begin to talk about our predictions, as well as look at the numbers that you have provided us via the Twitch chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will be right back for Big versus FaZe. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you all for participating in our Twitch vote, but the times are, well, they're getting crunched, and that means I had to bring in my commentators. We have Harry Houdini, and we also do have Hugo Byron. Now, Harry, wearing his best Game of Thrones cosplay, we'll let them get into that. Guys, I want to talk about predictions, and I want to talk about predictions for Big versus FaZe on Nuke by itself.
How you take it?
Yeah, I mean, so I think I might. I don't know if this is going to surprise you guys, but you guys know I'm a big fan, and I mean that in the purest sense of the word. Okay. I think Big have got this series. I think when you look at Inferno, right, it's a little bit tricky for me, but obviously, you know, they're picking into it. It's a map that I think, you know, you put someone like Searson on, and he's going to light up the server. So yeah, I don't know. I think Big could actually stand to 2-0 this series once again.
Well, let me get you guys out of here on the backs of, why do they call you Harry Houdini? Y'all figure it out.
He's full of optical illusions, this guy. You know, left, right, good night. We don't know where he is, Harry.
And I made Trace disappear.
What's this background? I'm trying to work out what today's theme is. You know, you're just in the mountains for a change.
Sorry, it's all inverted. Yeah. I'm trying to get out of the way, and I keep getting more in the way.
Maybe just move out of the way of the camera, Harry. Well, luckily we don't have to look at you much longer, or me. We get to look at Nuke. It's the first map of the series with Mirage to follow and Dust as a third of the rematch from the upper bracket. Big FaZe and Big looking to do what they've already done once again. FaZe looking for revenge. Will it be that easy, though?
Hey-oh, it's that big FaZe game we've all been waiting for. Let's go. It's Big over on the T side, and FaZe on the CT side start on Big's map pick. Big early on. They're going to be grouping up with players here in the lobby. You'll note that Tabson's donning some utility, and he's here outside alongside a man going by the name of Searson. And they're going to try and cross here. They throw this smoke down close to main, and that's with an attempt to give them some free passageway over here towards outside. Looks like they could try and wrap into hell. That feels like the game plan here from Big. And early on, they deal with cold, but this is where Nico comes in and saves the day. He crunches onto these outside players. Big, I think they were looking to wrap into hell to assist with this this ramp push. Now, those two outside players don't survive the journey, and a bomb plant will come through for Big. They've got it into a 3-on-3 regardless. FaZe is going to have to try and retake this site in even odds.
Yeah, those split players may be dead, but now it's down to the bulk of Big to do the heavy lifting. And, well, what better men for the job? Tizian looking from the top of the site. Quick dink on Nika. It's a nice bit of damage that can get finished off, but Rain's pushed out first. He's got a trade. Keto gone. Tizian swaps sides, and to good avail, he's found himself another. Both low players here for FaZe, and they're going to get chewed up and spat out by Tizian. Nice round from Big. Quick little ramp burst to a B plant. FaZe aren't able to get back into the site, and that's going to have to be a win for Big. Most importantly, a force for FaZe. You're expecting it in the second round. It is Nuke. Harry, this is such an exciting game because we saw those Betway odds a minute ago favoring FaZe, but Big, man, they destroyed FaZe Clan last time they played. I think a lot of people are expecting FaZe to maybe not be so surprised in today in this game and know what they're up against, but even so, like, the games weren't close. Big were leading by a huge margin, and FaZe only got 14 rounds in an entire best of 3. So, yeah, there's a real world where Big can do this once again. FaZe need to have their wits about them.
Nico's got his deadly little Deeg out here towards outside, and he already popped off in the pistol, securing a double over here outside. So let's see if he can do it again. Armed with the Deeg. Keto actually going to make quick work of him there. And now this is outside control gained for FaZe, or for Big rather. FaZe going to start to rotate players down into this B bomb site. But while this has all been going on, sneaky little Searson, he's set up down here in hell. And I love this. He hears the footsteps of FaZe moving back up the ramp, so he just bides his time. He's going to take down one man. And while BMAS does get the trade, it's still a 2-on-4 for FaZe. A very unlikely win here. BMAS is going to try and hold it down from the ramp side. He has Cold Zera rotating on through. But it might just have to be the save here from FaZe. They know this round is already a little too far gone to want to turn it around in. And this scout, combined with the Deegs and the Mac-10 and such, is kind of like a worthwhile save for FaZe. They can drop those Deagles over. BMAS and Cold, they can be armed with the weaponry in this round, and they still have a fighting chance.
Yeah, it couldn't have been much better for Big, right? Seriously, he plays that well in tucking and waiting for the kills, but the more important thing is that he hears the info, right? He hears 2 players from FaZe going from ramp back up to A, and he gives that info to his team, and they just commit to B off the back of his kill. So they knew that B was going to be empty, and FaZe having to save No one going for the bomb. Tabson makes sure of it. Big, they're going to find a second, leading nice and early on the first map of this series. Their pick as well. They're able to take a 16-9 victory on this map last time they beat FaZe. It was a dominant T-side that got them there. 8 rounds in the first half, and then FaZe were only able to get 2 T-side rounds in the second. So lots of question marks for this series, really, especially with Mirage replacing Inferno in the map pool for this one. Obviously a great map for FaZe, and we've been seeing them take a lot of teams down on. They beat Na'Vi on it yesterday. They knocked them out of the tournament in a 2-0 as well. So FaZe, they're out for blood. Don't think Big are coming in here as the only ones with something to prove. Oh, that's a nice shot from Nico. About time. Yeah!
He's going to follow it up with a second. And Nico, well, he's made this round feel doable for FaZe. He's secured himself a little double kill there with the Deagle. And now Broky's going to take the reins outside while Nico rotates into ramp. Broky just watching it with the scout. And I like this. This is like minimizing the risk, right? Like Broky can just try and chip these players down with the scout. Even if he doesn't deliver kills, he can deliver tags at a very, very safe distance and put this round even further in the advantage of FaZe. Rain's hiding close here in main and Tabson's spamming him, but Rain's been able to survive it. He's just withstood the gunfire. So he's still a threat here in main. Big, they are wrapping back here into hell. But FaZe, you know, they should kind of be ready for this. They've given up outside. They know that this is a potential, area of the map that Big could look to contest. And it's something, you know, it's not like Big haven't ever tried to go hell. They've actually done it every round thus far in this game. So BMAS is ready. He's waiting for it. And if he even gets one here, that can be enough. He shuts down not one, but 2. And this leaves it all onto Tabson, who was tagged up earlier on with the scout. Now 1v4, 30 points of health. Very little time here. And just tapping this bomb is a death sentence. Nico's going to come in with a 3rd. And that's the round secured for FaZe.
Yeah, FaZe knew exactly what was going on, Harry, right? Like, after Rain gets spammed, he knows they're wrapping hell, and so FaZe, they make a really good play. They get aggressive in the lobby. It helps that Nico has found earlier kills inside of lobby and outside, right? Tizzy and Dead at the back of door. So FaZe just push in, they get the control, and if you have lobby, but you don't have outside as a CT side, you know you're being wrapped, you know you're being flanked, you know it's going, you know, somewhere towards hell, heaven, ramp area, and FaZe, they just set up perfectly. BMAS with a double, and they convert an eco round nonetheless. That's crazy. FaZe didn't even wait for rifles, and now they've got loads of them with money left in the bank as well. Tabson fast, but Broky's going to hear it. He will drop off. Molly ready. Broky gets deleted. No head armor, and that's a big issue when you pull out the AWP against Tabson. He is armed and dangerous, and the danger is coming fast into that A site.
Cold deals with the first man in, but Keto and Zintares are both closing the gap, and Searson's going to best him straight up. So bomb plant now secured at a bare minimum here for Big. And FaZe, it's just BMAS and Nico. They might just be looking to save here. So this is an immediate response from the big boys. They'll find themselves this 3rd. I gotta say, man, I love this Big roster. Like, I do think it's probably the best iteration of Big that we've seen yet. I remember, Hugo, we were at Pro League in season, I'm trying to think now. Would have been season 10, I think, or maybe season 9. But yeah, point is, you know, one of these ones that's gone by the wayside. And I remember, you know, Big back then, they had Next, and they also had Smooya in the squad. And they were playing, and at the same event, there was Sprout, who had Keto and Searson. And I remember, man, Keto and Searson were just popping off Sprout. Like, they were wrecking. And afterwards, you know, you and me, we were kind of talking a bit about it. And we were like, so what do you think the odds are that they pick up Searson and Keto? And then, you know, lo and behold, a few months later, guess who joins the Big squad? Searson and Keto. And the moment that change happened, man, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I could just tell, like, this was going to be a deadly-looking Big squad. And they really have delivered on that. Like, I think Searson has just looked better and better as time's gone on, as he's gotten, like, more adjusted to being in the squad. I think as well, like, Zintares, he was someone who was always going to give you good returns. Just it was just a question of time, right? Because you think about, like, what this guy is having to undertake, you know, up and moving from Turkey, now having to join this German squad, having to learn all these different languages to communicate in. And so, you know, I think he's also a prospect that only looks better as time goes on.
Yeah, he's not bilingual, he's trilingual at this point. And, you know, Big's still coming in English, despite, you know, being for Germans. Respect for that. I did hear that Zintares was picking up some German, so you know, it might be some changes in the future, but Yeah, regardless, Big in control of this game right now. But there is that buy from FaZe. The save of 2 guns allows this one. And this seems all too good to be true for Big. Why is outside so empty, they wonder? Well, it's because Nico's holding secret. He's not letting them get lower. No one's watching for a hell wrap, so there is danger here for FaZe. But Nico, oh, they're walking with their back turn. He's got a free kill. Can he follow up? No. Tabson gets it right back, and Big will run down towards B. FaZe have no low rotations, so Rain has to come through the vent. That molly is great, but Searson runs through it and trades Tabson. Hero play, picking the bomb back up, and Big, if they want, they can take that B site.
Certainly feels like they want to. They're going to molly off ramp. This gives BMAS only 1 point of entry for the time being here on the left side of ramp. And so Searson's likely just going to be homing in over towards here with that AWP. The moment this smoke fades, he's down towards Decon. And FaZe, they're going to set up with 2 of these players over at ramp. Brokey is beginning a very lengthy rotation in through the lobby. So he's arrived a little bit late to the scene. This has given a lot of time over to Big to get set up in this 3-on-3 post plot. Searson's trying to take an early fight here from Decon, but they flash, they smoke him off, and they nullify this AWP out of the gate. They close the gap into the site. Tizian and Keto had this crossfire set up, and Tizian's going to continue to put up numbers. There's Searson to round it out at the very, very end, and Big, they'll grab a 4th round. They go 4-1 up, and they break the money of FaZe, so they look to get off to an even better start than this, as unimaginable as that seems.
Yeah, not just explosive, right, in how they get down to B, right, trading, running through Molotovs, killing Rain in the vent, but I love the post plant for Big. They've clearly put a lot of time into working out how they want to deal with certain situations on this map, and yeah, just everyone's ready, right, they split up, they have the perfect door crossfire, with Tizian opening the door as FaZe hit the site, just doesn't get much better than that, and FaZe is going to get broken, not just morale-wise, but money as well. They're down to 3 apiece. Orb is looking for kills outside just to make matters worse for FaZe Clan, and it shouldn't be too much of a task for Big in this round. That being said, getting close to these pistols can be a danger, and there's one in the main smoke. Rain can come through at the drop of a hat, but Nico has been dropped. No hat for him, no head to wear it, and Keto's looking for a little bit more. Oh dear. Getting dangerous, but nice, yeah. A little one tap, that will get the job done. And now FaZe just a couple of deaths away from giving Big a 5-1 lead. Rain is climbing to his death.
They didn't.
I think he spotted him.
Yeah. Rain saw Tizian. I was going to say, like, this is really gross from Tizian as well. Because, you know, if you're Rain and you're going up that ladder, you're rubbing your hands. You're thinking, these idiots, they'll never know what hit them. Oh, Tizian. Oh, he misses the timing. Rain does get up and wins that fight. So 3-on-4, AK retrieved. It's still like not an incredible amount to go off of for FaZe, but we've seen these rounds spiral out of control. So let's see if they can get anything done with this AK. The bomb is down on B, and while this is happening, Zantares is on a bit of a solo mission in towards this A site through heaven, and there's players in the vents. So Big, they might look to come up into this A site based on the information that Zantares gets, and he doesn't get anything apart from a bullet from Cold, and so that's the immediate decision from Big. Yeah, the A site doesn't seem so cool, and so now they get into B. BMAS is at ramp here. He spots them planting this bomb. FaZe, they're definitely going to give this round a go, right? They're buying in the next regardless. They've got this down to a 3-on-3, and we've seen them turn these around before. Missed shot from Searson, and that's given them a moment. But yeah, the AK is already rotating out. Rain's actually gone up into heaven and retrieved Zantares' AK. And so FaZe, yeah, now at this point, right, with 2 rifles coming out of the round, they're just going to hold on to that.
Let's keep our eyes on BMAS on the CT side, because he's going to have a very hard role with how infatuated Big are with this B bomb site in this game. Yeah, BMAS on the ramp is going to have to toe the line in between getting appropriate information down towards that B bomb site while not overcommitting and playing for the retake with his team. We'll see how this goes, right? Because FaZe setting up for these retakes towards the ramp room and coming down late B hasn't worked at all. You can tell by the scoreline. But yeah, let's give them the benefit of the doubt and give them some time. They haven't really had the economy in this game yet. Big have been all over it. So waiting for that money to build. It has now. FaZe have the AWP as well on Brokey. And this could be a chance for FaZe to get back in control. Right now, though, Big looking good, looking like the team that we expected here, the team that we hoped for. We were definitely hoping that win versus FaZe wasn't a one trick, and they could do it again. They've had great results throughout this entire tournament, though, inside their group as well. Rain, oh, he's just the bait. Well, Nico's the bait rather. Rain is the switch. He's going to turn it on from this red box. No one knows. Big are waiting out the util. Now the smokes have faded. They need to check it, but Nico is drawing them in. He now has to hide. He's so low. Even a wallbang could end his life. And Rain is really holding his own. There's the flash to set him off. And he's going to go with it. Sees nothing. And Rain, he just hangs around for longer. Dear, oh dear. Big have got to be considering this at this point. And Rain is sneaking around the edge to get a kill. It's a whiff spray. Tabson's going to find him back. And somehow, some way, Big win the advantage.
To try and get past Brokey, and Keto does not survive the journey. There's a big, like, to say there's a gap in this wall of smokes is an understatement. There's just only one of the wall of smokes down towards outside, so that's not going to facilitate a cross for Xantares. But Big aren't looking across. They sneak out down through the door, down the vent now. Very quiet here. You can't be too loud, because if you're too loud, FaZe will hear. Nico has supersonic hearing. And that's the last thing we want. Yeah, they don't, because they're holding on to A, but they were watching it from the rafters. They never saw the door. And so the fact that Big get down into this B site was just completely unknown to FaZe. This might just be the save as well. Yeah. They'd be going into the B site blind, effectively, and it just doesn't feel worth the risk, especially not with Nico already so low on HP. So this is going to be another save round for FaZe. In a 4-on-4, this is really not what you wanted to see heading into this round from the FaZe clan side.
When you're anchoring A, it's so important to know whether that door is blown or closed or open or just a general situation when you move away from it, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with Cold's position, but I imagine the door had been blown off by Big earlier in the round. And so, therefore, there was a problem with Cold's position, or more so, a problem with the lack of door control for FaZe. Not necessarily Cold's fault, but just no one there to fill the gap. And yeah, Big just walked down. Even though Tabson accidentally makes noise at the end, like FaZe, they probably hear that and go, ah, damn it, we've lost the round. Like, you know, they've been struggling setting up for these retakes, let alone getting caught off with a random bomb plant while they're holding A. They don't want to drop vents as to what could be below them, and Big, well, they're above them right now in every way, shape, and form. 6-1 up, in control of this T side. Molotov outside for Nico. He's got a gap to play with, but he doesn't want to commit with it. Door smoke coming down for his team. That should cover this position, but it's a big gap in there. Nico is up on the chopping block, and yikes. Tizian's going to take him down through a smoke, but yeah, there was a big gap there, and that was definitely the problem.
Big gap.
Big gap, yeah.
Nice one, Hugo.
Thanks, Harry.
Nice one, man.
By design.
A big gap. Oh, Tabson, he's going to put a big bullet there into Brokey, and Keto gets a big frag over here outside. Oh, it's a big round by the looks of things right now, Hugo. Cold and BMAS left alive. And
look at Tabson.
They're not entirely unfazed by this one. Tizian holding on. He's going to grab this kill, catches Cold, but actually Cold with utility in hand is still just as deadly. He's doubled up. He's left in a 1v3 though. They've lost BMAS. That there is a kill going the way of Big. Cold's there at 20 points of health, but the bomb is outside. And Big, they've got to go back and get it. So time starts to become a bit of a worry here for Big. Not big on time right now.
Gosh,
Here you go. 25 seconds now.
I'm going to mute you, Harry. I'm going to mute you. Don't make me.
Don't worry, man. I could censor it every time I say the word big. That's what I'll do.
It's a dangerous one.
Let's see. Keto with a big bomb plant here down towards the B bomb site. And Cole, it's going to be a little save.
I've had enough. Oh dear, and FaZe probably have to.
This is my resignation.
Yep. No, you're fired, Harry.
Oh.
You can't fire me, I quit.
If they quit, if you quit before they fire you, then it's far more dignified.
No, what you do is you get fired, you beg for your job back, and then you quit, Harry. The ultimate power move. But right now, there's no power for FaZe. It seems like the lights are off in their house. Cole will escape. But Big, they're the ones who are laughing all the way to the bank. 7-1 up, in full control of this game. is there any slowing down? Is there any stopping, right? Like when we saw these guys play in the upper bracket earlier and Big did the same thing, it was an 8-7 side. Like that was good, but right now 7-1, it has no indication this is going to be a close half, and FaZe need something. FaZe need to come alive. None of the top 10 rated players at DH Masters EU or FaZe. Yeah, the top 10 has been kind of interesting, to be honest. Like we even talked about how like Simple and Electronic were near the bottom end, and then I say that and I kind of jinx it because then they come alive. ZywOo's at the top, Simple second, Mir and Electronic coming in third and fourth. We got some Danes to follow, and tabseN sits at number 7. So the only player in the server right now in that spot. And well earned. It does feel like, Harry, I'm sure you can echo this point, it doesn't feel like the tabseN show anymore for Big. Not to say that he's not performing, but I feel like, you know, Big are getting wins without requiring tabseN to go nuclear.
And man, that's one of the things that's so sick about this Big squad, right? Like for the longest time, firepower was just flat out the problem, it felt like, right? Like they had tactical masterminds in this team. You had guys like God Be at the helm, you know? And tabseN has undoubtedly taken a lot away from that in how he leads this squad. But yeah, it was kind of horrible. Like it felt like it was just the tabseN show or the no show for Big, and those were your options, you know. And now it's like tabseN isn't in a position where he needs to drop 30 kills a game, and that's not to say he's incapable of doing it. It's just that there's actually other people who are able to put up these big numbers alongside him. BMAS going to try and hold ramp, and he does have players coming his way. He's not able to stand the test of time, and Xantares and Keto, they have overrun ramp Big. They've got 5 alive. It's 2v5 for FaZe, and even though they're always like finding 1 or 2 guys after the site's fallen, it's ultimately meaningless. You know, like these saves are good. It allows you to keep the pressure on, but there hasn't really been much pressure for Big. You know, like in a lot of these rounds, they've been pretty damn clean. You're making a lot of money. You're 8-1 up. You're just showing absolutely no signs of slowing down.
I would hate to play against this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people would share that sentiment, Hugo.
Let's talk about how tabseN just worked outside right now. Big have been very good outside, so FaZe, they haven't really been like fighting an AWP from Garage or looking for that immediate pick. They run passive sandwich, right? Think of, you know, players hiding in the back of Garage, Nico playing secret like in this round. Ooh, Ray, nice stall. He might get his teammate to kill him. Instead, Brokey's holding this angle. Oh, he's holding a tight one, so they'll just let him live. That's probably a safe decision. You don't care about Big's money at this point. You care about your own. Yeah, here, this death from Nico. Now, the reason Nico's caught off there is not his fault necessarily. tabseN runs red at the start of the round. He hides. He shows no control. He shows nothing. FaZe have given up outside because Nico's playing a timing round. Big throw delayed smokes, but tabseN pushes before the smokes land. And so FaZe go, oh, smokes outside. Nico thinks, oh, I have a timing. I can get up to secret now. But tabseN's already ahead of the smokes. They're trying to play with FaZe's timings. They're trying to play with FaZe getting in position there. It's a nice read from tabseN and the crew and Big. That's a really good way of getting a pick there. And then they just hit ramp off the back of it, Harry. And BMAS gets chased down. He can't escape. Think about how ramp players are supposed to be able to get that info and drop off with the pace that Big have been setting. That just doesn't allow it to happen for FaZe. This has been a masterclass on the T side, and FaZe, no answers for it, no solutions. Brokey, look at FaZe, right? Of course, Brokey's holding outside. Nico is in secret, but he's got Brokey to tell him, okay, this time they are crossing for sure. It's not just smokes. And, well, Big, they're crossing, but they're doing it dry, and they might just avoid this AWP walking into main. They seem to have the answer for every FaZe setup without knowing FaZe's setup. It's great, and they're about to wrap this orb.
Brokey has no idea. Oh, he goes back, he checks to the right, and he's like, the hell, guys? Hello? Hello? BMAS, I thought you said you were holding ramp. Like, I don't get it. Nico comes out from hell, and he's trying to make a bit of a stand, but Xantares is going to best him. That nade will find Xantares, or tabseN rather, actually, up in heaven. And we're into this 3-on-3, but it's a bit of an awkward one. You're going to try and split ramp from here if you're Big, and Xantares continues his tear. While this has gone on, Tizian puts up yet another kill, and this leaves Rain in a 1v3. Hilariously, this is like the best chance that FaZe have maybe had at winning a round in this whole CT side yet. It feels like outside of the one round that they have actually got to their name. Rain's going to give it a go. Xantares is already on the angle, fires off a couple of shots. He knows he's got Rain trapped here, and he's just not giving the fight over. He's being such a nuisance. He's like teasing Rain. He's trying to encourage him to stick around and waste as much time as he can, looking for a fight that just isn't going to present itself. And that gives Tizian a lot of time to come in on that flank. 9-1 now for Big. And the problem's only just beginning for FaZe, it feels like, as once again, the money's in a bit of a rough spot here.
So this is why this is working, right? Think about this, Counter-Strike fans. When was the last time that you saw anyone shift walk outside all the way through a flank? Big have been doing that constantly. They've been making no noise. FaZe, Brokey and Nico with a crossfire, they have no information, but they're relying on the fact that Big are gonna run, or Big are gonna smoke, or Big are gonna flash. They don't do any of it. And so Big are just constantly being able to get behind FaZe. From the opening round of this game, it felt like, Harry, they were doing the same thing in the pistol. And, you know, while that got punished there, it hasn't been since. This has just been so good from Big and FaZe. I wonder, you know, they surely now realize what the problems are in terms of outside control, but Big have just switched it up every single time. It's not like they're doing back-to-back same strats. Now they're going to crunch A. We haven't seen an A play for Big, it feels like, all game, but they could drop vent with that smoke. Triple setup for FaZe. Good response. They put everyone here to deal with them, and a man has dropped vents to deny a B play. Cold doing a lot of damage through the smoke, and if Big commit A here, it could be a bloodbath, but not in their favor. Got to pick though, so they can just chill, relax, wait, see if FaZe give them any more.
I think BMAS and Brokey are looking to push ramp, and they are going to do that. They send these two in to try and push and prod for some info. This is a dangerous little crossfire as well that gets set up, right? BMAS gets that kill and now backs away, and I think it honestly could be more deadly here to Big if he stays around, because I think like they check this right-hand corner if they're not getting fights. That's going to help. tabseN just deletes Nico through a smoke. Now, searson is already low, and Brokey, there we go, going to make quick work of him. With that kill, he's got the bomb. And a 3-on-3, Brokey's also been allowed to retrieve the AWP. FaZe, they might find something here. They might cheese around away. Brokey, another kill. Oh, looking for the third, and Tizian does get the kill, but 10 seconds. Surely there's just no time for Tizian. He runs in towards this site, but yeah, there's no time. He knows it. FaZe, they will get that second round. The ramp aggression comes in at a perfect timing. They catch multiple kills from the position. Brokey gets the AWP and the bomb under his control, and that round will slip through Big's fingers.
Yeah, perfect bit of re-aggression here. I thought Brokey was dead in this fight against searson when he close peeks him without the info, but yeah, really, really nice stuff from FaZe. It's always a danger, right? That aggression from BMAS, if he dies there, it's going to be a 5-on-3 for Big, and they can just sit back and hold and wait for Brokey too, so very important that FaZe actually get out on top of that engagement and turn the tide. searson runs through a molly again. He just doesn't care, does he, Harry? Finding Nico, who has really been getting beaten up outside this game. He may be an 8 and 9, not exactly like a bad score for Nico, but it's the way that he's been dying. It's the way that FaZe, have been dealing him death. And oh, that's a nice shot from coldzera. As said on the desk coming into this game, the two players that have consistently been good for FaZe are Cold and Nico. Cold has certainly looked really, really strong in DreamHack so far. And well, I say so far, this could be the end of the road for FaZe this series if they don't find a win. So no better time to shine. Cold watching heaven. He's dealt with his position before. Got 3 in secret though for Big. It's 1 lurk in heaven. Are they going to come up with the vent after they get control? That's what I wonder. If Xantares can get kills on that top site, that would be perfect. Alternatively, what they can do is open the doors on B, make a lot of noise. FaZe will begin to rotate off A, and Xantares can backstab. And that seems like the game plan here.
Oh, that's a grisly fight to not have go your way. And BMAS's position down here at the B side couldn't be better. tabseN is dead, and now looking for the follow-up. Keto will at least get the trade, gives a 2-on-3 over. searson is being very, very proactive in his hold here at the ramp, but he isn't able to find a man on the swing. He goes back, and he nails it the second time around. There's a smoke on the bomb, and that's going to cause searson all kinds of problems. Tries to peek with a flash. He's inside the site, and coldzera holding down the door. Defuse going to come on through for FaZe. They'll get this third round. Cold starting to come alive, and that's exactly what we needed to see for FaZe. We needed to have really just anyone, it felt like, stepping up in these rounds and being able to win these head-to-head duels, and it feels like Cold could be our man.
Yeah, at least making this game competitive, but at what cost, right? At what scoreline? Big is still so far in the lead. This T side is excellent, and we know that FaZe had trouble getting anywhere near as many rounds on their T side when these guys last played. So if I say if Big get 10, 9 will do at this point, but they're going to keep going. They're going to keep pounding the hammer as FaZe have another full buy. AWP out on Brokey again. push towards a ramp, but with no support. Actually, he does. Sorry, BMAS is going to, once again, get in an aggressive position and take the spot that Brokey did last time. Again, a good setup for FaZe, because even if Brokey wants to rotate and go and assist elsewhere, he can just run on the retreat. He doesn't need to worry about getting flanked because of BMAS. Big, once again, look at this, hiding behind red, denying outside info for FaZe. It's Nico coming up from secret. This time he's got to be ready. This time he has to be prepared for what lies behind red, but there's so many players.
Ooh, Nico, only good for one. B-Master's coming in with this ramp aggression again, and this feels like it could be a bit of a solution to the big problem that is poised to FaZe. Xantares continuing to be a bit of a menace on these lurks. I mean, I say that. Actually, the lurks really haven't been finding all too much from Xantares at this point, and he's looking to deliver in this round. Searson gets into the site, taps the bomb, but hasn't committed to the bomb plant. And so FaZe set up with 3 players here. If Big go back up into this A site, they would be walking into an empty A side of the map.
No.
Xantares, we haven't seen much from his flanks in these last few rounds, but this one could prove to be devastating. Oh, they're going to turn around. They're going to check for it, and Rain will get the trade, but Tabson comes on in, and Brokey now trapped down here in the cubby. Miss Shot does tap it down with the USP, not the follow-up onto Searson, and we're into the 1v1. Cold's error on the other side, and he's been so good for FaZe in these last few rounds. Always good for the clutch is Cold. The door swings open, but Searson has dodged it, and Cold's missed his mark. Now trying to play around this time. Cold goes back in for the fight, and Searson's going to nail it. 10 on the board for Big. They reach double digits. It smiles all around in the big basement here.
Just really nice reaction to Tabson's info there. Even though he only gets 1, he does, you know, BMAS turns on him. Good timing for BMAS, even though he dies. Cold gets a bit of damage off, or sorry, the close play gets a bit of damage off. But yeah, Big just trade the kills instantly. Even with Brokey finding one from lower that Big seemingly forgot about. They saw him earlier there when they tried to tap the plant. And well, Searson was just no-scoping rather. So Big 1-on-2 clutch for Big, and 10 rounds to their name with FaZe on rocky road. Look at that money. It's just really not there, is it? 2 M4s, a Deagle on Rain. Not often a gun that holds him back by any means, but right now it's the score that's holding FaZe back out of this matchup. Nico changing it up again, gone deep yard. Good damage with the Deag. Xantares is low. Nico should be able to finish the job, but he doesn't realize how deep Xantares has gotten. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's hiding and playing this on a timing, but even so, Xantares could beat him to the punch. He is so damn deep, and neither of them have any realization. Oh no, oh dear. Nico, there it is. He's realized, phew. But that's given away his position, and Big are surrounding him. They're so close to the spawn, and Nico has no support.
Oh, this is horrible. Nico having a fall all the way back. Flash Rain's in. Nico back at the forklift, and it's a good thing he's here because he's got to do some heavy lifting in this round. Looking for these kills outside of Big. They're just sneaking under. Look at them go. They're just sneaking under. They're just trying to get underneath the crosshair, and Nico hasn't been able to see anything yet from this position. Now he gets the information. Guys, they're in hell, but Searson nails the shot, and Tabson deals with BMAS at ramp. FaZe, this is horrible, man. Big, they are just... they're in your nightmares, it feels like, man. Like, wherever you look, there's a player from Big, and it's not where they should be. A 3-on-4, Rain here with the Deagle does find damage, but not the killing blow to Tabson. Brokey with a Nova. There ever was a time for an unlikely highlight clip with an unlikely weapon. It's Brokey in this position. Cold maybe even can deal with this ramp, or he retrieves the M4, and that might be him now looking to save. Gets 1, but Searson comes in with the trade. Brokey. Come on, man. Tabson's gotten him. 3 kills in the round for Tabson, and 11 on the board for Big.
Nuke isn't a map where you can just plug and play, right? Where you can just slot a player in. So it's firstly difficult to get BMAS into the system here as a new player, but they put him in the best position, which is ramp, right? Ramp's very easy from an outlooker perspective. You can just play for 1 or 2 fights. You can drop very quickly. You can feed info. But BMAS has died more times to hell than he has to the main ramp entrance. This is really rough. Like, Bigger playing the most unorthodox T side of this map, and it just gets worse or better depending how you look at it. And right now for FaZe, they are not feeling all too fancy. I don't know, man. This is just excellent for Big. 5-on-1, closing the half, looking for that 12-3. And BMAS, man, there's no way he's going to be able to stop this. He's dead in an instant. Antares closing the half, and 12 rounds for Big. Well, they've come back in, and they look damn good. Can they keep it up? Can they close it out? You'll have to wait and see.
Tone of voice you're using there, resentment flowing down the line. I can't stand when you are not near. We can sort it out when you're here.
Oh boy, we got that big FaZe game that you've all been waiting for. And right now, it's a pretty tall order if FaZe want to get back in up against these big boys on the other side. 12-3 in favor of the German/Turkish squad here. Well, FaZe, I don't know. Can they get back into this? It would be an impressive feat if they do, but this pistol round has not gotten off to a swimming start. And originally the plan was to back off and give up ramp, but then they're like, actually, you know what? Antares, go for it, man. You're off the leash. Get in there. Get stuck in. He gets himself another kill. He does go down, which has given up ramp to FaZe and might lead to a B plant here as they rush into this bomb site. tabseN is already here on rotation, and he's just going to wait.
Oh, that's perfect. Doesn't expect a second, though. BMAS trades, and now he's got a chance to do something magical. Door open, but it's all a ruse. Double pistols for Keto. He's got dual Berettas, rather. BMAS, nice try, but he can't hit the shot, and Keto will swing off of the noise. Big with 13. Oh, dear, Harry. If their T-side wasn't good enough, well, they found a CT pistol. That might just push them over the line. And, well, there's not much room left for FaZe in this map. Thank goodness we have Mirage coming up after this one, because that's FaZe's pick. That's a map that FaZe have looked really good on. And even though it's one Big can play, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than this, or at least I hope so. Full eco for FaZe in the 17th. They're going to give away 14 for Big before they try their first hand at a rifle round. I like the call for FaZe, but it's not exactly going to save them in this series. I think at this point, in the back of FaZe's mind is that this map is already done. And, well, that first rifle round, losing it will only cement your view. So really, anything they can do here, any damage they can find, any util they can waste from Big could help in the long run.
They got Brokey doing laps, man. That's his trading up on top of the silo. Gonna try and push outside. I felt like Tabson saw something on that jump peak, because suddenly, you know, hairs on his back of his neck are up and he's all ready to take this gunfight. Now, he does get dinked by, I think that was B-Mass's Deagle, bringing him down to 7 points of health. You hate to see a Deagle dink, and because it's too far, it doesn't get the kill. Like, nothing saddens me more.
Yeah.
Season gets the information that they're crossing, and he's going to swing and just take one away. Keto's going to try and hold this down, and there might be a smoke in the way. That's not going to stop him from sending FaZe Clan packing. He actually goes through the smoke, and Searson's pushing the upper side as well. B-Mass, well, he does get that one kill. Surely this is it for him. Searson taking the fight down the stairs. Doesn't want to fall prey to the Deeg, and so he doesn't. He just actually gets the kill himself. 14 on the board for Big, an investment for FaZe, but this could be their only T-side rifle round in this game if it doesn't go their way.
And they gave Searson a flurry of MP9 kills. Oh, look, wonder what he's going to have in this round, Harry. $6,000. Well, you know, no prize for guessing his investment. The AWP is coming out for Big, and in the first and maybe last rifle round of this T-side for FaZe. Dear oh dear, not a pretty picture. Double SMGs though, so there's always that. FaZe with a superior weaponry mostly. But what's the game plan? What's the go-to here? They're going to hold, they're going to set up. And I think this is a good call for FaZe. It's a problem because, you know, if Big win any early fight, whatever FaZe's T-side is, they never get to do it. But you know, the benefit of this is FaZe get to hold early. They get to see if Big want to throw any spanners in the works, want to push lobby or crunch an area, take map control. And once the FaZe are confident that Big have settled into a passive default, which they have, well, FaZe can make up their mind. It looks like a ramp split with some outside control. It might fall off of ramp because they have the bomb in lobby. Searson's in secret with the AWP as well. He's yet to be spotted holding the stairwell. So once FaZe go outside with this utility, Searson is going to be able to find multiple kills. But not if there's not multiple players.
Oh, sorry, FaZe. You guys were setting up to take A? That's cute. We've smoked the door, so you got to go through the hub. Tizian's trying to hold it down with the MP9, and he does get one. That's really all you could have asked for him there. Nico pincering in from outside is dropped Tabsons, and Tares and Searson left in this 2-on-3. And do they want to go for this? I'm not so sure, right? Because while this was an attempt at the bonus round from the rest of the gang, these two have put a lot of money into this round. And they've decided that it might just be better off saving. As well as that, you don't want to put an AWP for free in the hands of FaZe. That's a luxury that they're not going to have for a good while. And so you kind of want to keep them in that spot. You know, if you start giving FaZe the tools to work with, that's where they can look to dismantle you. However, Big aren't going to do that, and they look to hold on to this into the follow-up round. Obviously, with the other three attempting this bonus, they're going to have cash regardless, so there's still a buy round coming in for Big. FaZe, they'll get themselves a fourth, though, on the back of that A play, and that first rifle round goes their way. So that little danger of this being the only rifle round for FaZe is out the window. We at least get to see a little bit more from this FaZe T side.
Yeah, nice little fake from FaZe. I actually thought it was you know, not going to work. I thought the Big were ready for it, and Big knew exactly what was going on. And the reason because of that is Searson, right? FaZe throw those default outside smokes, but Searson's peeking secret. He sees nothing. He sees nothing red. And so Big, they have 3 on the A site. They have a stack. They're ready, but it's the weaponry that holds them back. No one gets any multi-kills for Big, and, well, they don't even trade. So, yeah, FaZe win the round off the back of those entries, but, like, that's not something that that FaZe can consistently run. Not only because of Searson's position that FaZe actually never knew about, by the way, but also because when Big eventually have full rifle rounds and have guns on everyone, not MP9s, they should be able to hold a top site hit like that. Like, Big knew what was going on. You said it yourself. They threw the door smoke right as FaZe set up. So, yeah, it's a nice round. And FaZe, they should be able to build on it here. This is a great chance to get back into this game for the short term. Look at the money of Big. They're relying on the 2 saved weapons with Eco on the rest. Tabson hiding in the outside smokes, but again, it's all but a ruse for FaZe. Searson has left spawn and gone towards the hell position. And FaZe is setting up once again to crunch A.
Tizian has got the auto shotgun. And that might make all the difference here, Hugo. He takes down the first man. Let's see what he can do. He's traded it out onto the AK. And he's looking for a little bit more from the hut. They're checking him, but Tizian with the blind spray down, and FaZe, their journey might come to a close sooner than they expected here on Nuke. 15 on the board for Big. The auto shotgun takes the first man down, trades out onto the AK, and goes on to do all the damage for Big.
Well, what I just said was FaZe, they can't get away with that again. And so FaZe, they do the exact same strategy again. Different utility a little bit this time, but like by and large, the same idea. The late outside smokes with an A crunch. And Big, they just don't even play outside, Harry. They put the AWP in heaven. They had, once again, 3 on the site. So FaZe walk once more into a stack. This time even less weaponry for Big. But maybe it was the high-pitched auto shotgun that really got it going for Big. A round away from removing FaZe from this map, but Nico's Deeg, oh dear, it misses. Hyping it up for a shot that never hits, and FaZe, that's been this entire game, it feels like. Oh, Tabson, he's looking to make matters worse. We've not really seen much outside control for Big in this game, but not on the CT side at least. Tabson's here. Searson's further back with the AWP as well to cover the cross to red, so Tabson at least has information as to what FaZe are doing. Flash out, Tabson's going to go with it into the AWP, but Brokey is blinded. Tabson shoots him, but nothing significant, and FaZe is going to begin to push.
Skirts by into main, and he could find Searson here, but a quick flick back into the garage, and that is him dealt with. Rain's found through the smoke, and things are about to go from bad to worse here for FaZe. Tizian spraying, praying, and shuts down another. BMAS does come out and get a kill. It's him and Brokey left in this 2-on-3 now, as they are finding kills. These two together have looked great. However, they lose Brokey outside with it. The bomb goes the way of Big. And BMAS now is left in a very tricky scenario. This 1v3, he's being given a 1v1, but he can't win it out. Big, they take a victory here on Nuke, and it's a very one-sided victory at that.
Yeah, and now we move to Mirage, right? A lot of question marks, I think, in this series after that one. Excellent work for Big. Like, no doubt they looked incredible today, but yeah, Mirage, FaZe's map pick, a map that they eliminated Na'Vi on yesterday, and generally a map that's always been good for FaZe. But when I think Big, it's kind of funny because I think about Tabson on the A site of Mirage, him and Zantares in the connector just shutting things down. So, you know, we haven't really seen the same level of success on Mirage for Big that we have in the past, but I know this team can play it, and I believe in this team right now, Harry. They just wrecked FaZe. They made them look like newbies. I don't know what to say. It's looking like a big 2-0. Kind of crazy to believe that, but here we are.
I mean, hey, it's happened once already, Hugo. We know there's that funny thing about history sometimes repeating itself. It might be about to do that today. You're going to have to join us for that second map of Mirage after a quick break, so stick around and don't go anywhere because you don't want to miss it.